Many say that the habits you build growing up determine your success in the future. This also applies to habits and routines built while you're in the prime of your life at the height of your success. So what does a typical day look like for the world's richest man? In today's video, we will find out what daily life looks like for Elon Musk and identify how his habits, routines, and work ethic made him the world's richest man. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, leave a comment, and click the notification bell for new updates. Now, let's get right into it. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that Musk regularly works 16 hours a day, including weekends, a habit he formed while in his youth.
When my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA, and we're so hot up we had just one computer, so the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night, 7 days a week, all the time.
He summarized his thought process behind this mind-blowing level of work in an interview as follows.
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
Understanding how little sleep Musk gets, let's take a look at what he does during the 16 to 18 hours a day he's awake. Generally speaking, Musk divides his time equally between Tesla, SpaceX, The Boring Company, and Neuralink. His day is broken down into 5-minute intervals, and he sometimes works so hard that he forgets to eat. He's even been known to spend the night on the factory floor or in a conference room in order to boost output.
Where do you sleep tonight?
Tonight's in the factory.
In the factory, not in a hotel.
Well, technically in a conference room in the factory, but yeah.
You sleep in a conference room in the not finished factory tonight?
Yeah, it gives me a good feel for what's going on.
Alone or?
Yeah, I assume so. Is this an invitation?
So, how does his day start? Musk's day begins at 7 a.m. every day. He likes to sleep for 6 to 6.5 hours every night. According to him, he claims that sleeping more than that allotted time has a greater impact on his performance than sleeping less, but still admits that sleeping is important. Sleep is really great. I find if I don't get enough sleep, I'm quite grumpy. I could drop below a certain threshold of sleep, although I would be awake more hours. I would get less done because my mental acuity would be affected. He showers, gets dressed, and enjoys a morning cup of coffee after waking up. He claims, though, that he is normally in such a hurry that he forgoes breakfast on most days. He prefers an omelet for breakfast on the days he does eat it. He also emphasized that showering is perhaps the most essential aspect of his day. In a Reddit AMA, he claims that he doesn't feel in the correct frame of mind without his shower, and that it's an important part of waking up and preparing him for the day's tasks. Based on his own claims and testimonies from SpaceX employees, Musk seems to work 80 to 100-hour work weeks on a regular basis, with most of his abilities centered on design and technical work. Design work takes up 90% of his time at SpaceX and 60% of his day at Tesla. He's a good multitasker, but he doesn't respond to emails and ignores the majority of his phone calls. The balance of a typical week is spent at Tesla in the San Francisco Bay Area on Tuesday through Thursday, with Mondays and Fridays spent at SpaceX in Los Angeles or Boca Chica. Musk will work 40 to 60 hours per week at Tesla and 40 hours at SpaceX under this timetable. Come afternoon, and he's usually leaning hard into his daily work. He doesn't pay as much attention to his diet as he should, since he is so busy, and he admits it. If Musk eats lunch, it's generally in the middle of an afternoon meeting. He also admits to not exercising as much as he should, and even explained to Joe Rogan that he'd skip exercise if he could. "I wouldn't exercise at all if I could," he said, although he does spend some time lifting weights and running on the treadmill while watching TV. He also dabbles in taekwondo, karate, judo, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but only if the workload is reduced for the day. He has a reputation for being brutally efficient in the workplace, and he expects his colleagues to do the same. In fact, in 2021, over the U.S. Thanksgiving weekend, instead of doing his Black Friday shopping or basting a turkey, Musk sent an email to his SpaceX employees that said, "Raptor production crisis. I was going to take this weekend off as my first weekend off in a long time, but instead I will be on the Raptor line all night and through the weekend. Unless you have critical family matters or cannot physically return to Hawthorne, we need all hands on deck to recover." Musk is all in, and he expects his employees to be as well. His typical afternoons are spent attending meetings and working on design projects. He is renowned for suddenly exiting meetings if he believes his time is being wasted, and he intentionally avoids needless meetings. In a 2018 email sent out to Tesla employees, Musk outlined some of his recommendations for conducting efficient meetings. "Excessive meetings are the blight of big companies and almost always get worse over time. Please get rid of all large meetings unless you're certain they are providing value to the whole audience, in which case, keep them very short. Also, get rid of frequent meetings unless you are dealing with an extremely urgent matter. Meeting frequency should drop rapidly once the urgent matter is resolved. Walk out of a meeting or drop off a call as soon as it is obvious you aren't adding value. It is not rude to leave. It is rude to make someone stay and waste their time. His evenings typically mellow out gradually, although he still works well beyond 5 p.m. According to a New York Times article on Musk from 2018, Musk has opted to cut back on his hours with the birth of his most recent child in order to spend more quality time with his children. He consumes the majority of his calories at night as a result of his demanding activity throughout the day, satisfying his appetite with business meals. He admits to overeating sometimes. Musk has a soft spot for Diet Coke, alleging that it includes some terrible chemical. Musk prefers French cuisine and barbecue when he does eat. From time to time, he also loves whiskey or wine. He gets home from work about 10 p.m. after the younger kids have gone to bed and spends the next several hours reading, watching anime, and occasionally playing video games. Finally, he goes to sleep at 1 a.m. Elon Musk may be a super busy man, but he knows how to enjoy his weekends. While Saturdays are typically reserved for quality family time that he spends with his sons, Sundays are earmarked for traveling and preparing for the upcoming week. Musk also loves spending time with his sons. "What I find is I'm able to be with them and still be on email. I can be with them and still be working at the same time. If I didn't, I wouldn't be able to get my job done," he told Business Insider. This underscores the need to find a good work-life balance, which is just as important as working hard for your goals. Musk himself admits as much. In a New York Times profile, Musk detailed work weeks of up to 120 hours. There were times when I didn't leave the factory for 3 or 4 days, when I didn't go outside, he said. This has really come at the expense of seeing my kids and seeing friends. In a Recode Decode interview with journalist Kara Swisher, Musk talked about the difficult times in more detail. I would just sort of sleep for a few hours, work, sleep for a few hours, work 7 days a week. Some of those weeks must have been 120 hours or something nutty. Fortunately for Musk, the days of 120-hour work weeks are largely a thing of the past. And he's back to 80 or 90 hours, which he says is pretty sustainable. What do you think of Elon Musk's daily life? Do you think it's sustainable? Do you think it's healthy? What does your daily life look like? As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.